So start of the third period, the drop of the puck, 2-0 Detroit Red Wings on top of the Sabres. What a wild second period it was. Here's the drop down. Myers coming in. Myers picks it up in the corner. And we have a icing coming up here against the Detroit Red Wings. So the Sabres showing a lot more offense in that second period than they did in the first period. It seemed to come alive. Here's the drop of the puck to the right of Howard now. Up to Zetterberg. Zetterberg up to Datsuk. Datsuk. Ehrhoff picks it off. Ehrhoff sends it over to Foligno. Foligno now being chased in there. Ehrhoff comes away with it over the blue line. And he takes a weak shot, and that was one blocked into behind the net. Hodgson back there with it. Hodgson now. Kronwall picking it up. Now Zetterberg. There's Zetterberg. Kicks out to Kronwall. Back to Kronwall. Over to Zetterberg again. Zetterberg skating in. Sabres making a line change. White. Passing over to Franzen. Franzen being chased by Vanek. Here's White. He shoots away in deep. And up to Vanek. Now up to Hodgson. Hodgson. Over to Stafford. Stafford coming in on goal. Over to Vanek. Vanek shoots. Scores! Thomas Vanek with his first goal of the season, cutting this Detroit Red Wings lead in half. It's now 2-1. So Thomas Vanek putting the Sabres on the scoreboard, and we've got a game. Now back to Barker. Over to Quincy. Quincy skating in. Back to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi being watched back at the top of the slot. Over to Cleary. Now Cleary's with it. Cleary's skating in. Cleary's circling around. Over to Bertuzzi. This one's shot deflected out of the way by Leno. Leno now with it. He's being watched there. Now with the Regier. Over to Gerby with a dangerous centering pass. Up to Ennis. Here comes Tyler Ennis. He's got Gerby and there's a shot, and this one's deflected wide. Goes over to Leno. Leno now trying to kick it back there for Ennis. And Ennis is being watched. Now it's up to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi coming with it. It's Pat intercepted by Gerby. Gerby's shot, and he was offside. So Nathan Gerby going offside on that shot. Sabres down 2-1 off of a Vanek goal. And face-off just outside the blue line. Over to Eriksson. Up to Samuelson. Samuelson over to Helm. Helm being watched by security. He comes in and shoots. Oh, he's just flattened in front of the net, and there's going to be a penalty coming up here for interference. So Detroit will go on their third power play of the night. They are 1 for 2 so far on the power play. And there's the drop over to White, and that one's just steered aside by Miller. Myers now in there. Back to White. White takes a long blast, and Miller steers that one aside. This one's up to Palmerville. Palmerville skating away. He's being watched. He sends it over to Hedge on a centering pass, and no dice there. Back to White. White up to Franson. Franson back to White. Up to Datsuk. Datsuk coming in, being watched by Myers. Steered off to the corner. Now Datsuk coming around, and Hesh is able to knock this one out. Now over to Zetterberg. Here comes Zetterberg. Looking up front, Kronwall. Kronwall skating in. Zetterberg back to the point, and this one goes over the blue line. 33 seconds to go in the Detroit power play. Back to Franson. Franson coming in. He's being watched there. White, a long blast, and Miller makes the glove save. 22 seconds to go in the power play to Detroit. Just over 12 minutes to go here in the third period. Buffalo down 2-1. And drop the face-off. Cleary back. There's a blast by Quincy. And that one's steered aside by Miller. Miller doing an excellent job of keeping his team in the game tonight. Bertuzzi now. This one goes offsides. He's watched over there. Bertuzzi now skating in on Miller. And this one's deflected aside. Cleary now with it. Cleary up to Datsuk. And this one's a blast coming in. And that one's cleared out to Foligno. And Foligno knocks it down the ice. All the way back for Quincy. He's being watched by Palmerville. Help to Foligno. Foligno coming in. Here comes Leopold. A shot. And this one's deflected wide. Hodgson now with it. Hodgson out front, and he misses everybody. Now over to Foligno. Foligno fans on the shot. And there's a penalty coming up here to Detroit. So Buffalo will go on the power play with just over 9 minutes to go here in the third period. Hudson ready to take the face-off. There's the drop. Back to Cronwall. Cronwall sends it all the way down the ice, and Leopold now coming in after it. He's being watched back there. Leopold now sends up to Vanek. Vanek coming, skating on in. Looking around, circles around. Sekera back over to Vanek. Vanek again, looking for an open man. There's Quincy. Vanek has it. He shot, scores! Thomas Vanek has tied the game here in the third period with his second goal of the night. So Thomas Vanek, the man of the hour, a power play goal, his first of the season, just over the left shoulder of Jimmy Howard. And we've got a tie hockey game. Ace-off now coming at center ice. This one's back to Smith. Smith up to Kip Miller. Miller being watched there. Out front, and Helm takes a shot, but that was directed wide. Back over to Miller. Man, Ryan Miller finally down on the puck. 2-2. Detroit and Buffalo. Third period. Now the face-off. Drop down. Cronwall takes the long blast, and this one goes off of Ruutu. Tried to shoot that through a crowd of people there. Over to Leopold. Leopold now up to Ennis. Tyler Ennis over to Lano. Coming on 3-2 for momentarily there. And now it's going to be passed back into the corner. Gerby after it. White out to Abedekar. Abedekar up to Holmstrom. Holmstrom dumps this one in. And Regeer's after it. Regeer goes after it in the corner. And Miller gets on it and finally makes the save. Almost tipped into the goal. 6:16 to go here in the third period. This one back. Bertuzio, squirt shot in front of up in front. Miller makes the save again. Oh my. Ryan Miller fell on the puck when he didn't know where it was at. Now the face off to the right of Miller now. Hesh taking it. Back to Smith. Smith a long blast. This one's deflected wide. Smith again. And he can't get it through the crowd of people. Myers. Here goes Myers kicking over. Myers up to Erickson. Erickson now out to Helm. Helm out to Samuelson. Samuelson over to Miller. Miller pass down over to Samuelson. A shot on goal. Almost. Samuelson in behind the net now. Now Samuelson back down. Out to Miller. Up to Erickson. Erickson a shot. This one's deflected wide over to Stafford. Stafford kicking it over. Now back in the corner. And being watched there. Helm out in front. Helm looking, takes a shot, shoots it wide. Samuelson in the corner now. Being watched by Hecht. Here comes Samuelson. And he's back in the corner again. Now this time being watched by Ehrhoff. Myers tries to get at it. He did for momentarily. And controlling the puck here. Detroit in the Sabre zone. Back to Erickson. Erickson takes the long shot. Blocker pad saved by Miller. Up to Stafford. And here's Drew Stafford coming in. Going in behind the net. Looking out front. Drops it off and loses it here to Samuelson. So he just sort of took a little circle around and finally lost it there. Now over to Zetterberg. Zetterberg up to Smith. Smith now skating in on Sabre zone. Loses that one to Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff just kicks this one all the way down the center. He's back to White. White up to Smith. Smith now skating in. Smith looking around, and he's got Foligno intercepting. And here comes Marcus Foligno. Skating over. Looking around. Out front for Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff, a weak shot on goal. That one's saved by Howard. And he holds on for the face-off with under 30 seconds here to go in the third period. Face-off. Gerby shot on goal, and that one's saved by Gerby again. Howard making an ill-fated decision to throw the puck out there with Gerby watching over him. Cronwall up to Datsuk. White over to Cronwall. Cronwall now skating up. Cronwall back to White. Time ticking out here on the third period. Coming in on goal. Up in front, Franzen takes a shot. Glove saved by Miller. Back to Leopold, up to Lano. Lano with 5 seconds. Coming in on goal. 3, and there's a shot. Howard makes the save, and we're going to overtime. So it's 2-2. First overtime game of the season for the Sabres. 2-2, and they're taking on Detroit tonight in what has turned into a very exciting game here down at the First Niagara Center. Coming out, there's a shot. Stafford with it. Stafford now coming out. Stafford skating over, and it's taken off the stick by Datsuk. He gets it back, but that goes back to White. White back, that is Myers takes a long, weak shot. Doesn't make it through. Cronwall back now. Cronwall over to White. White, a long ice pass. Out to center now for Datsuk. Datsuk decides to skate in with it. Being watched there, and it's picked off by Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff up to Hodgson now. Now Hodgson skating away with it. Hodgson coming in on goal. He shoots! Oh, this one's just taken off a stick. Zetterberg now. Zetterberg over to Cronwall. Cronwall over to Zetterberg. Zetterberg back to White. Here comes White in on goal. He just dumps it into the Sabre zone. This one's back for Datsuk. Datsuk looking up front. He has Cronwall. Here's Cronwall with a long blast. Zetterberg scores! Zetterberg out front. He just scores the overtime goal, and the Sabres lose this one 3-2 tonight in overtime.